everyone, when a hyperbola with the given foci passes through the point -4, 2, we're going to find the equation of the hyperbola. So basically, before we get started, the foci is on the x-axis. That means our transverse axis is horizontal because it's on the x. So it would be something like this. All right. So let's look at our equation of the hyperbola. That would be x squared divided by a squared minus y squared divided by b squared equals 1. We're going to call this equation 1. All right. We also know that we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So therefore, we're going to get our c is this 2 square root of 3, or you can take the negative, but we're going to square it anyway. So let's just take the positive 2 square root of 3 squared equals a squared plus b squared, or we can write this as b squared equals 12 minus a squared. And we'll call this one equation 2. All right, next, since this equation here passes through this point, -4, 2, we're going to substitute in our x and our y into equation 1 here. So that would give me 16 divided by a squared minus 4 divided by b squared equals 1. Now what I'm going to do is simplify this by multiplying through by my least common denominator, which is a squared times b squared. And when I do that, I multiply each term, and the a squared will go away here, so we'll have 16b squared. This will cancel with that, so we get minus 4a squared equals a squared times b squared. All right, and let's call this one equation 3. Now from there, what we're going to do is substitute equation 2 into equation 3. So 2 into 3. That's going to give me 16 times 12 minus a squared minus 4a squared equals a squared times 12 minus a squared. So everywhere there was a b squared, I substituted in that. So this was b squared and this was b squared. All right, simplifying this, we'll get 16. This is going to be 144 minus 24 a squared plus a to the power of 4. And then we have minus 4a squared. And on the right-hand side, we get 12a squared minus a to the power of 4. All right, simplifying all this, we're going to get, and setting everything to 0, we're going to get a to the power of 4 minus 32a squared plus 192 equals 0. Now we're going to use the quadratic formula to solve for a squared. So we want to solve for a squared, and I'm going to use this quadratic formula. This is the same as this one. This one actually pops up before you get to this one, but let's use this one. Instead of x, though, we're going to have a squared. So this is going to be a squared equals, and using this formula, we're going to get 16 plus or minus square root of 16 squared minus 192. Okay, and that was your c. All right, this is going to equal 16 plus or minus square root of 64, which equals 16 plus or minus 8. That means we have a squared equals 24 when we do the plus, or a squared equals 8. Now, if a squared is 24, then if I look at my original equation I had, remember my equation 3 was b squared equals 12 minus a squared. But if a squared is 24, then this will be negative, and we can't have that. So we have to disregard the 24 and only use the a squared equals 8, because that will make this then positive here. All right, so then we have all our information. We have our a squared is 8. If our a squared is 8, then our b squared is going to be 4, because 12 minus 8 equals 4, which is going to be your b squared. So now our equation is going to be x squared divided by our a squared, which is 8, minus y squared divided by our b squared, which is 4, and set that to 1. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.